Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
My next guest, Cristina Alvarado, from the NZX, Head of Dairy Insights. Cristina, welcome to the show. Thank you. Before we get on to it, though, I feel duty-bound to ask you for your favourite pie. Are you a pie fan? And I know probably not. Pies were probably not part of your upbringing, right? Because you have come from another country. But since your time in New Zealand, have you grown to love a good pie? And if you have, what is it?
Yes. Well, initially the pies I grew up with were apple pie and lemon, so sweet pies. So if you originally would ask me that, I'll say apple pie. But, with all my years here and everything, I've definitely come to love pies, and steak and cheese, I would say, is my favorite one. A really good steak and cheese.
All right. Yeah. Have you got a favorite bakery where you go?
Not really. I had many years ago, and it was like 13 or 14 years ago, I had a venison pie in a restaurant in Mount Eden that I think it's no longer, the restaurant is there, but the pie is not. And I've never been able to have, that was actually my favorite, but I only had it once. So
right. Well, it was very, very memorable. Very, very memorable. Okay, well, that's fine. You're in the majority then. Our guest, Brent, said that 30% of the pies in New Zealand are either steak and cheese or mince and cheese. So it's by far the most popular pie. So, yeah, very, very popular. The pork belly and apple from Fairlie, though, if you're ever in Fairlie and you go to the Fairlie Bakehouse, I've had that pie. That is an exceptional pie as well. I don't put it in my favourite, but it is very, very good. All righty. Hey, let's talk GDT overnight. I looked at this and I guess my description would be flat, right? What were the numbers?
Yeah, so overall 0.1%, and that was driven because of powders went up. Whole milk powder was slightly up overall, 0.2%, skim milk powder 1.2%, and the only ones that actually dropped were AMF butter and buttermilk powder. But apart from that, cheddar had a really good result. It came up 3.8%. and lactose 4.1%. The other one that went up was mozzarella 1%. But I think we do a forecast before the event that we sent yesterday, and we were really close because we said that whole milk powder was likely gonna end between 0 and 2%, and skim milk powder between 1 and 3%, and AMF between -1 and -3. That's the only one that we probably had slightly off. And then butter between -2 and -4%. So our forecast was actually quite spot on. And that's due because there's already, demand trying to plan for the end of year season, Christmas, New Year's, all of that is about to come. So demand, it's always big during those months. So, anyone that works in the industry tries to prepare having enough ingredients to produce for that time, but also the uncertainty that has been growing bigger with the heat and dry weather in the northern hemisphere. Also, the threat of El Nino growing bigger to come and hit us in coming months. That's that, together with still some shipping issues because of El Nino. Panama Canal is slowing down a bit the transit in the canal. Then again, issues in Suez Canal, and then the Hormuz Strait. All of that puts a lot of pressure, and people may want to, buy and secure product. So it's good to see that it's sort of leveled, and prices are still fairly different even for buyers, but that definitely helps supporting the price for our farmers.
So a little bit of covering their bases would be the way I would describe that, right? Just making sure that they've got product available, buying it into that October, November contract time, particularly if the El Nino does hit here and it does get dry and production starts to reduce. Just on volume, what was the volume like on this sale?
It was bigger than the last event because we're going more into the peak of the season for New Zealand, and the volumes offered for contract delivery in October and November. So contract 2 and contract 3 were actually higher. And I did try to get all those numbers ready for you because I thought you were going to ask me about that. Whole milk powder is always the one that has the most volumes, and For example, for the event, the total sold was 21,900, so nearly 22,000 metric tons of product.
Okay.
And most of it was, nearly half of that was put into contract 2, so delivery in October, and then delivery in November and delivery in December. The ones for delivery next month was the shortest contract with 1,000 metric tons. That's for whole milk powder, for example.
All right, Cristina, we do have to go. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us today. Always lovely to have you on, and we'll get you on in a couple of weeks.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.